Hello, my name is Berge Jololian, and this is my final project presentation for the Introduction to Cybersecurity course. Today I'll be discussing the cybersecurity attack that targeted Snowflake's cloud-based customers earlier this year. So let's begin with an overview of Snowflake, which is a leading name in cloud computing. Snowflake is renowned for its scalable and secure cloud infrastructure, which features a multi-tenant architecture that logically isolates customer data and environments while maintaining centralized management. It operates on a software as a service model. Snowflake is built entirely on public cloud platforms such as AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Cloud Google. The company serves over 9,000 customers, including more than 700 Forbes 200 companies, with prominent clients like Disney, Netflix, Santander Bank, and Capital One. It was founded in 2012. Snowflake is headquartered in Bozeman, Montana, and employs approximately 7,000 people worldwide. So now let's dive into what happened, the crime scene, as I like to call it. Snowflake breach was not a single event, but a coordinated campaign targeting multiple organizations using Snowflake's cloud storage services. It became one of the largest data breaches of 2024, yet the attackers didn't actually hack into Snowflake's core platform. Instead, their goal was to steal data from customer environments and use it for financial extortion. The attack began quietly around October 2023 with the threat actors gathering information about Snowflake and its customers. They targeted weak accounts, vulnerable credentials, and demo environments. Common tools such as phishing emails and system scanners were likely used to identify weaknesses. The attackers employed malware like Luma Stealer to harvest credentials, likely obtaining through phishing, providing their first point of entry. These stolen credentials were then used to bypass security measures, especially in environments where MFA wasn't enabled. By March 2024, the attacks were detected and publicly disclosed around April-May of this year. The threat group, identified as UNC 5537, relied heavily on compromised credentials as the backbone of their strategy. And many of these credentials dated back to breaches as early as 2020, obtained through InfoStealer malware campaigns. Because the credentials had not been rotated or updated, they remain valid and exploitable. This campaign didn't rely on advanced hacking techniques, but rather on leveraging exposed legitimate credentials. For accounts without MFA, having a valid username and password was enough to gain unauthorized access. And of course, once inside, the attackers exploited accounts that lacked MFA, which is a critical security layer requiring additional verification beyond just a password. The absence of MFA created an easy entry point for UNC 5537 threat group, allowing them to infiltrate accounts and bypass other security measures. The impact was significant. Approximately 165 Snowflake customers were affected. Although Snowflake's core platform wasn't directly compromised, weaknesses in credential and access management at the customer level exposed sensitive environments. This breach underscores the importance of layered security measures, such as enforcing MFA, using narrow network allow lists, and adopting zero trust principles to safeguard cloud platforms and their users. So why did this breach occur? Well, several security gaps contributed to the success of the attack. I'll name a few of them, but the rest are on the screen. Investigations such as that the breach began with compromised machine infected with Luma Stealer, a type of malware designed to log keystrokes and other sensitive data, providing attackers with their first foothold. Many legacy accounts relied solely on passwords for authentication. Without this MFA, was not universally enforced across all accounts, leaving them vulnerable to credential theft. And some customers failed to rotate or update credentials that had been compromised in earlier breaches, allowing attackers to reuse them. Poor segregation of duties allowed the same set of credentials to access multiple environments, increasing the risk of lateral movements. Moving on to the attacker tools and techniques, how it happened. The attackers employed a strategic combination of tools and techniques to carry out the breach. They initially used InfoStealer malware such as LumaStealer to extract credentials from compromised contractor devices. Once inside the network, they developed a custom reconnaissance tool named Frostbite, which allowed them to execute SQL queries and systematically extract sensitive data. To avoid detection, they used encrypted communication channels for exfiltrating data, effectively bypassing traditional monitoring systems and raising minimal alarms. The attack methodology the attack was simple yet highly effective. Credential exploitation. The attackers relied on previously stolen credentials, some dating back to 2020, to gain unauthorized access. The reconnaissance, they utilized custom-built tool, Frostbite, to conduct system exploration and extract valuable data. Compromised contractor devices, often used for both work and personal purposes, provided the initial entry points for the breach. This underscores the risk posed by vulnerabilities in third-party systems, which can serve as indirect gateway into otherwise secure environments. Now, the type of vulnerabilities exploited, the key vulnerabilities were that the lack of MFA. Without it, accounts were left vulnerable to credential theft, making unauthorized access straightforward. Stagnant credentials. Many accounts used credentials that had not been rotated or updated, even after being exposed in prior breaches. And without allow lists to restrict access, attackers could log in from any location once they had valid credentials. That's the absence of network allow lists. Now, notably, 80% of the compromised accounts had already been exposed in previous breaches, underscoring the critical importance of proactive credential management and security hygiene. The pre-incident proactive measures prior to the breach, Snowflake had advocated for several proactive measures, urging customers to strengthen accounts security by requiring multiple layers of authentication, basically MFA, recommending routine updates to credentials and adherence to robust password policies to mitigate risks from compromised accounts. Utilization of security information and event management, and promoting periodic evaluations to uncover and address system weaknesses. Additionally, Snowflake emphasized aligning security protocols with zero trust principles, operating under the assumption that every user and device could be a potential threat. So in response to the breach, that's the post-incident reaction measures, Snowflake implemented several critical measures, mandatory multi-factor authentication, customer notifications and law enforcement collaboration, enhanced network access controls, and improving monitoring and logging systems in real time, policy overall, and employee training. Now, what lessons can we take away from this incident? Some of the recommendations is adopt zero trust principles, treat every user and device as potential threat, and continuously verify their access permissions. Implement real-time monitoring. Leverage tools like security information and event management and intrusion detection to detect and respond to threats swiftly. Enforce universal multi-factor authentication. Encrypt data, both in transit and in storage, and use network allow lists. Now, in conclusion, this breach highlights the critical role of fundamental cybersecurity practices. Key takeaways include cybersecurity is an ongoing effort that demands constant attention and vigilance. Even reputable platforms like Snowflake are susceptible to vulnerabilities. Basic security measures such as MFA, regular credential rotation, and network allow lists can significantly mitigate risks. And learning from incidents like these is essential for developing robust defensives and protecting sensitive data moving forward. My final reflections on cybersecurity emphasize that to truly succeed, we need to adopt a hacker's mindset. A cybersecurity pro needs to think like the bad guys because let's be real, attackers have all the fun. It's not just about knowing the latest tools or following strict processes. To really thrive in cybersecurity, you've got to get into the attacker's head, understand their motives, strategies, and how they try to break in. It's all about being proactive, not reactive. You've got to stay one step ahead, always curious, creative, and ready to adapt because threats are constantly evolving. So if you want to be more than just another techie, embrace that hacker mindset. Just don't cross the line into actually hacking. Finally, I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks to Professors David Malin and Doug Lloyd and teaching assistant Derb Singh. Your outstanding lectures and unwavering support throughout the semester have been nothing short of exceptional. Your dedication to helping me grasp complex cybersecurity concepts and guiding me along the way has been invaluable, and I really mean it. Though the rigorous grading and those point deductions for an extra sentence kept me sharp. They also taught discipline and precision, lessons that will undoubtedly benefit far beyond this course. Your efforts have truly enriched my learning journey, and for that, I'm incredibly grateful. Thank you.